So I hit record on this computer, which means we're on YouTube. So, hey, YouTube.
What's up, YouTube?
And then we're going to do our thing. So do the thing, Decol.
And a 3, and a 2, and a 1, and a click.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of No Plans to Merge. I'm your host, Caleb Porzio.
I'm your other host, Dan Hoburn.
And today's episode...
Today's episode is brought to you by Florida and the slight inconsistency of the internet quality between Buffalo and Florida. It's better in Buffalo, folks.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think I'm being bad right now?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. This
like you blink, like you're blinking and stuff. You're doing a lot of blinking, first of all. So let's talk about that. But like a lot of your blinks are like you're getting stuck with your eyes closed, and then like it's catching up.
Oh, now I'm blinking a lot because I
opened
my eyes. Daniel, that's weird. That's really weird, bro. Yeah, I have like 300 megabits per second here or something wild.
Yeah. You might
if I run an internet speed test, I bet it'll go slower and even worse. Dude, my speed test is like off the charts. So good. Like way better than Buffalo.
Could be me. I mean, it could be me. I could have bad internet.
You know, it could be the palm trees.
That's true. They do
interference.
Yeah, they do interrupt.
Yeah. I know. I honestly think my internet is golden right here, but what do I know about that? Can we deduce this? Because you come through fine for me.
Yep.
Does that tell us anything?
Well, so is it your upload speed good?
So my upload speed could be garbage, and that would explain it. Or your upload speed.
No, my download could be bad.
Wait, if your download was bad, right, your download.
So I mean, here
you're coming through fine for me.
Let's just do it for the listener. You know,
yeah, because they're dying to know. I'll run the full speed test. I only did the down, so we're gonna need internet speed test. I'm just doing the Google one. You doing the Google one, or are you doing like?
I'm doing fast.com.
Okay, all right. Okay, buddy. Okay.
All right, let's compare our numbers when you're done.
All right, so I got my down is 210. And it just shows me the down. Okay, now it's...
And then more info, and then it does upload.
Now it's getting the up. So the up is currently hovering around 250. Now it's 250.
Your up is 250?
Yeah.
Wow. My up, my down is 140. And my up is 14.
Ooh.
But my up wouldn't affect the issues.
I know.
You know?
Weird, bro.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild though? 210 and 250. My upload is faster than my download. It's wild.
That is wild. You sure it's not like 250 kilobytes per second?
Oh, you're right. It's just bits per second.
Yeah, it's just 250 pigeons sent every second.
Yeah.
With a little packet tied to their leg.
Decol,
sir,
have we talked about speaking of bits, have we talked about RAID duplication, like storage duplication, storage?
No, we haven't. Do you have a RAID?
No, but I just I was recently reminded of like the really fun way that one of the RAIDs work. I don't know which one, like the common one. And I think it's just so cool.
So there's 0, 1, and 5 are the common ones.
Oh, you know the numbers.
Yeah.
So which one is it? If I have one hard drive and one backup drive, which one's that?
I think that's 5.
Okay. And then if I have 2 hard drives and one backup drive for those 2, what's that?
I think that might be RAID 1.
Okay.
And then fun. 0 is the like living on the edge dangerously, 2 hard drives, no backup drive.
Oh, it partitions like a part of each of them or something?
Yeah, which means if you lose one hard drive, you lose all your data.
Wait.
Because your data is striped across both drives.
So
like a given file, half of it is stored on one drive and half is stored on the other drive.
No.
But that means that your access is twice as fast, because to stream a file, you're not limited by the speed of one drive. Right? So you get it in parallel.
So this is RAID what?
I think that's RAID 0.
And so the benefit of RAID 0 it's not backup at all.
It's extreme speed.
It's just extreme file access speed, disk access. That is fantastic. That's really cool.
It's cool.
Oh, I dig that. So RAID 1 is the one that you have 2 drives and
I
then one
think RAID
backup?
1 is the one where there is a backup drive for your 2 drives, yeah. But like that's also like all of those are sketchy to me. The ones
Why?
where they're because it's like it's only using like so the way it works is like each drive is backed up half on the other drive and half on the backup drive, right? Isn't that how that works?
No.
It's
Way
not.
better. Yeah, can I give it to you?
Yeah, give it to me.
Okay. So it's basically um I'm trying to think of the bitwise and I think
Mm-hmm.
is well, you know, I won't
Is it XOR? Are they XORing the data
I
the
don't
data
remember
against each other?
but yeah, basically that. So like if hard drive 1, if the first bit register in hard drive 1 is 1
Mm-hmm.
and the second one is 0, then the third one will be it will be 0. I don't know. How does it work? Is it just not the first one? Or it would just compare the first two? And okay, so let's say that it's and. So let's say
Mm-hmm.
that like the first register in the first drive is 1, the first register in the second drive is 0, so 1 and
Mm-hmm.
0 is 0. So the third one would be 0.
Mm-hmm.
So if you cut out the middle one, you could perform the and with the outer two and say 1 and 0 is 0, so make that a 0. And then if you perform
Right,
the
right,
and
right, right,
with the
right, right,
right
right,
two
right,
and not
right.
the leftmost one, it's 0 and 0 is 1. So you can always triangulate as long as you have 2 of the 3
Two
drives.
of the sources. Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah,
Isn't that
that's very
so
cool.
cool? Super
Yeah, yeah,
satisfying. Yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, bud.
You know what I have is sort of a problem over here is that I have a lot of different storage media in my gaming computer.
Okay.
And I have no rating at all. I just have a bunch of big hard drives. And so I'll run out of space on one and then I'll like start installing things on the other one.
Yeah.
Because games are really big, you know? So like I've got like multiple 1 terabyte drives in there.
So how does this work? Is this like I'm trying to think to 50 years ago when I had an actual
A Windows
desktop
computer. Yeah.
container whatever ATX whatever with like bays. So you're saying you're just like popping another drive in a bay
Well,
and
I
hooking
mean,
up a
so first of
cord,
all,
SATA
drives are
cord
not
or
like
something.
big now. Drives are tiny little SSDs. So
Okay. So like even I'm thinking like I'm picturing like a SATA drive is like the slim version of the big fatties.
no, I mean
This is like
it's like the
even
size of like a
less.
credit card.
No way.
I mean, it's thicker,
Dude, I
right?
don't know anything about
It's like the
computers.
size of like a pack of gum.
Okay.
Like if you get one of those flat packs of gum,
Yeah.
you know, it's like
Like
that's how big a
Obits Wintermint.
sure, yeah, an Orbit's Wintermint,
Obits
exactly.
Wintermint. Okay.
So it's like a size of one of those, um, and you can get those up to like probably 16 terabytes now. They're insanely expensive. A terabyte is like $70 for an
Okay.
SSD,
That's
80
not bad.
bucks, something like that. So I've got
Good.
like two 1 terabyte SSDs, and then I've got 4 terabytes of spinning hard drive,
Gotcha.
um, which I really don't use because when I
Hmm.
built the computer, I was like, okay, I'm just going to have 256 gigs of SSD, and then I'm just going to have the rest be spinning hard drive.
Hmm.
And then like I realized like, well, games are really big,
Hmm.
and games are the place where the SSD actually
Right.
matters.
You never want to run it off the
So I
disk.
never want to put the games on the spinning hard drive. So I ended up just like, so I have them, but nothing's on them.
So how
Um,
do they fit in your computer if they're so small? Is there like
so they're literally just like Velcroed to things.
cool? Just
Like
you
I
like
just
taking
stick like
Velcro and
Velcro.
just like
Take Velcro sticky tape and stick it to the case, and I stick it to the hard drive or to the
hard.
SSD, and I just stick it in places where I think they look good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. Did you ever get into like custom enclosures, like putting like plexiglass like on a
I mean, my case has a
case?
window, but it's not custom in any way.
Okay.
I just bought it with one.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Cool.
But I am. I mean, listen. Here's the deal. I want to keep making my computer better.
Hmm.
Here, honestly, I'm kind of behind a rock,
Behind a
and
place and
before a hard place right now. Which
mhm.
is that I want to like I'm actually like willing to spend some money on making my computer better, but it's actually impossible to buy any of the things I want to buy. So
Because of the pandemic.
just because of reasons, because of a combination of like the pandemic and the Bitcoin price
But okay, you're
and
just saying like supply chain wise, like
supply chain wise, I can't buy
yeah,
any of the things. So like, and like for a long time, I've been like, like this is not a smart thing to spend money on, is like upgrading this computer. It's fine, it's good enough, you know?
yeah,
And then Cyberpunk came out.
yeah,
You know about Cyberpunk, right?
I do.
Cyberpunk came out. I played it. It was fine, but I have like a 2 generations old graphics card now. Um, and this is a game that it was the best 2 generations old graphics card, right? 2 generations ago, it was the best graphics card.
Okay.
But now it doesn't have ray tracing, which means it doesn't have all the sexiness of Cyberpunk. Like the
What
game still looks
what is ray
great.
tracing?
So ray tracing is basically like, um, so light. You know how light behaves as rays, right?
Mm-hmm.
So ray tracing is basically like doing vector math with
Okay.
light, um, which means that they can do stuff like, very easily with very few cycles calculate like reflections accurately and stuff like that, or
Gotcha.
reflections or refractions.
So like if you're in the game and you see like a stream flowing and the sun's beaming down, like getting those like I don't know, just getting precise reflections off of the ripples in the water or something like that.
Yeah, or like if you are standing across a stream from somebody else and you see their reflection in the stream
Oh, right.
accurately reflected
Oh man.
as the
How is
water
it done
distorts it
without ray
correctly.
tracing?
So it would have to literally be like frame by frame pixel mapping, right? So it's sort of like the difference
Gotcha.
between Photoshop and Illustrator,
Oh,
right?
interesting. It's like
So like,
intelligent
so ray tracing is using vectors instead of using like pixel by pixel calculation.
dope.
So which means it takes way less processing power for a really
Cool.
impressive result, you know? And like a lot of games are just starting to add ray tracing support where it really looks good, you know?
Yeah.
So for the last generation of GPUs, the 2000 series, right? So the GTX 2070, GTX 2080, all those.
No clue.
Um, these are all NVIDIA GPUs.
Okay.
Um, so, or they were RTX actually. So for a long time, GPUs from NVIDIA were GTX, right? So the
Yep.
GTX 950, the
You think I
GTX
had one of
970.
those? A little fatty with a fan on it. Pretty
Mm-hmm.
excited about it.
So that went up until the 10 series.
Okay.
So the one I have is a GTX 1080 Ti, which is the best 10 series GPU.
Yep.
Then the 20 series comes out and they changed it from GTX to RTX because it's now got ray tracing.
Hey
So
yo.
RTX, right? So the RTX series came out and they were not a massive performance boost over the other ones for things that were not ray tracing related,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you were playing a game with ray tracing, these things made it amazing.
Okay.
If you were not playing a game with ray tracing, they were only a pretty small performance boost over the 10s.
Yep.
Right? Plus, they were really expensive. So that led to not a lot of people bought them, right? But the
Okay.
general sentiment and leaks from NVIDIA and stuff said the 30 series is going to be a lot faster and a lot cheaper. So everyone, including this guy, went, well, I'm not buying a 20 series then. I'm just going to wait 2 years or a year or whatever and get a 30 series when they come out. So now here we all are. A whole generation of gamers didn't buy graphics cards. There's a pandemic, there's supply chain issues, and
Cyber comes out.
and and Bitcoin goes to 40K or whatever,
Oh, okay.
right? And we're
Okay.
all
So that's why
sitting
the
here
Bitcoin
like,
price.
I want a GPU now because I didn't buy the last one, and these ones are cheap and fast and great, and you just can't buy them.
Dude, you gotta talk to your brother-in-law. He's probably got like
Dude,
a
first of all,
pallet.
they're not married.
Okay.
So he's just I've never met him
Just
in person.
just a
He's just a
dude.
guy. He's just a guy who's dating my sister, you know?
Okay.
And second of all, I already got this GPU from him.
Oh,
You
really?
know, this is a free GPU. I was on a
Dude, that's so
1070 and I
cool.
got a 1080 Ti.
That is so
So
cool.
anyway, but he must have a source.
Yeah. He's got that. Yeah, those Bitcoin guys, they have
He's got like a guy in China who
backdoor.
like takes them off a pallet or something.
Right, for sure. Question about that. So if the RTX had ray tracing, and if I was playing a game with the GTX that used ray tracing, could I still play it and use the ray tracing? It would just like tax my GPU more.
No, so all the ray tracing math just doesn't exist, which means that games that have ray tracing in them also ship with a version that doesn't have ray
That's
tracing,
crazy.
which
And
means often that there's just visual effects that you're just not getting,
yeah.
which means like, so for example in Cyberpunk, like half the reflections in the game don't exist for me because like, so it's like a futuristic kind of Tokyo style city,
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
very like Blade Runner-y,
Yeah.
and so there's all these neon lights and it's nighttime and the streets are wet.
Yeah.
It's just like a reflective wonderland.
Hmm.
And for other people, it's like amazing. And for
Hmm.
me, they just kind of like blur the color of the light onto some things to make it like, oh yeah,
Hmm.
there's a red light here, which means this would be kind of reddish
Yeah.
over here. Whereas like for other people, you're like, as you walk, like the reflections are all accurately changing based on your
Mm.
position and what's going on. And if someone shoots a gun, the actual reflection of that shows up in the street,
Mm-hmm.
like I want all that.
Yeah. So these new GPUs have like some hardware that is specifically
Specific hardware for this math. Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing you can't give me any like information beyond that,
We're
but
at
I'd be really
the limit
curious.
of things
Yeah.
that I know.
Yep. It
Yeah.
would be fun to know though. Like, yeah. Okay.
Um,
Word, word,
so
word.
there's that. So I wanted to do that.
Mm-hmm.
My CPU has been my bottleneck for a while. Um, and I'm kind of at a crossroads with which way to go with it. Because I could just get a slightly faster CPU for not that much money.
Yeah.
Um, that has the same slot, same socket, and slap it in. But this socket, I think there's like a new AMD socket of CPU coming out. So I have the AMD Ryzen 5 1600 or 27, I don't know.
Okay.
But I have like a pretty good Ryzen 5 CPU, but like at this point, like when I look at what's throttling most games, it's CPU, right?
Okay.
And I play some games like Factorio where the constraint is not GPU because it's not a
Oh,
graphically intensive game.
yep.
The constraint is that I've got 100,000 robots flying back and forth delivering goods.
Okay.
And so just calculating which robots are doing what is just super CPU intensive.
Mm-hmm.
And so I need some CPU enhancements. Um, so my thinking, and this I haven't done all my research on yet, is like I should see if this new AMD socket thing is coming out or has already come out. I don't know if it has or not. And if there has, then like why buy a new CPU for an old socket? Why not just like upgrade my motherboard at the same time
Yep.
and then get like a new CPU and a new motherboard at the same time?
Yep.
But then now I'm like, okay, well now I've got like a new GPU, new CPU, new motherboard. I basically am like building a whole new computer,
Sure.
you know?
So you
So
want to
then
just
I'm
go
like,
all the way?
well, should I just like build a new computer and then sell this one or sell the parts from this one and like
What would you,
recoup
if you
half of
had
the
a
costs?
new, I guess like the things that wouldn't be new would be like your RAM and your hard drives, and that's about it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Power
And then
supply
it's
and whatnot,
like,
but like,
yeah, so I'd keep the hard drives.
yep.
But that's, I mean, like I say, I have these spinning hard drives I don't use. So I could literally just like wipe this thing
Yeah.
and sell it as a pre-built computer with
Oh,
one
word.
hard drive in it.
How much
You
would you
know,
sell it for ballpark?
I think $900 maybe.
It's worth that?
Yeah, probably. I
Cool.
don't know. I mean, I don't. I feel like less than 1,000, but more than like 800. You know,
Okay. If, to the listener, if you
it's got a
want a
1080
new
Ti in it.
computer,
What does a 1080 Ti run for these days? It's got to be
no,
at least
no idea.
$500.
Um, all right. The first listener to tweet at us will get Daniel's computer for
Whoa,
$500. He'll ship it
1080
to
Ti.
you
I'm going on eBay and seeing what
right
1080
now.
Ti's go for. Dude, yeah, my graphics card is still worth $650.
Dude, that's nuts.
So
That's
yeah,
crazy, man.
So yeah, like, and that's probably will drop as soon as you can buy the 30s though,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like as soon as those come out of retirement from,
Dude, that's just crazy. It's
yeah,
funny because like a part of me, here's what it is. I was just about to be like, that's an insane amount to spend on a computer. I just
yeah,
dropped, I think, $4,000 on my laptop.
yeah, get
But
out of here.
but like but like my Xbox costs like $150 or $200 or something,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know?
But
And
it's just an
it plays
Xbox.
Cyberpunk fine.
Yeah.
I'm just
Do
kidding.
you have the new Xbox?
No. It
Yeah, so you're not getting ray tracing.
no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
um, but
Chanel.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
that's these are the things that I'm thinking. So then I'm thinking, well, if I was gonna upgrade my motherboard, I've always wanted, like, I'm kind of sick of this thing being so loud.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna go
So
liquid.
I could just liquid water cool it, you know.
Done deal.
Like, so these are the things that you think is like, man, you could really take this project as far as you wanted and spend an infinite amount of money on it if you thought about it long enough.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm just sitting here doing nothing. Whenever I'm in this state where I'm like, this project could cost me between $100 and $2,000. Like, which side of that should I fall on? That I just do nothing
Oh yeah.
until I know the answer,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So I'm in that state of like, this is a project I'm interested in, but I should do nothing for now because, you know,
Mm-hmm.
my HDMI problem that I've talked about on the show.
I do.
That was a case of I didn't listen to the instinct in myself that said to do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead, I listened to the instinct in myself that said I could get this done this weekend.
Right.
And I still have a hole in my wall.
Dude, you should have listened to me, man.
Yeah. Did you have suggestions there? Yeah. No, come on now. I should run shit by you more.
Yeah. I'll give you the right.
That should be the rule, is I shouldn't start projects until I talk about them on the show.
Yep.
So you have a chance to intervene.
Yep. Yeah. We could, we'll have like then we'll have a retro after. And,
Yeah.
We'll have points and stuff.
I love points.
Yep. Yeah. Daniel, project. Oh, so I have a project that I think I'm going to start. So I started building a teardrop. Remember that? Teardrop trailer?
Yes. Yes.
Abandoned it. Spent a lot of money on it.
Is it still in your dad's garage?
Yep. Spent a ton of time on it. Ton of money.
Yep.
It's about 35% done. So I'm thinking.
Also, it's in New York.
It is.
And you're in Florida.
And I'm in Florida. Okay, well, two things. One, whatever. We could talk about canoe building or not, but that's the thing I've been most interested in at the moment. And kayak building and paddleboard building and sailboat.
So now, oh God. I have a friend who was dating this guy and moved to the Outer Banks because he really wanted to just build sailboats.
Oh yeah.
And now they live on the houseboat in the Outer Banks.
Oh. And
he builds sailboats.
Sick.
Yeah, wild, right?
Awesome.
But like, what is
right?
Exactly? You keeping track of these
jargon?
No, but the sea shanty movement.
Yes.
It's dope. Yep. I saw a really good one where it was just a bunch of high school dudes in the bathroom of their high school.
Okay.
Just singing sea shanties.
Nice.
It was great. It's just like 20 like 9th and 10th grade dudes just standing in the bathroom just singing like, and what do we do with a drunken sailor? Hey,
yeah.
It was great.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, maybe one day, but I should clarify that the method of building that I would be using and the things that I'm interested in building are much smaller scale. Although maybe someday. But I'm thinking like my end goal here is to sail something, even if it's like
I'm a sailor.
a
I
tiny
sail.
Thing. I just want to sail something.
Yeah.
I sailed one thing in Jamaica once, and it was cool.
Yeah, my roommate Paul in New Orleans was a sailing instructor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he did instruct me in how to sail a little bit.
I have a fundamental sailing question for you.
Yeah.
Like this has got to be sailing 101 day one.
So
you think to yourself, okay, a sail.
I often do.
catches
Oh,
the wind,
sure.
provides some power.
Mm-hmm.
If the wind is going one direction, well, then you can only go that direction. But that is clearly not true because otherwise nobody would have ever sailed in history. And with my limited experience sailing, that is not the case because you can catch the wind at an angle and
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But I want to know, if you have
Can you
strong
sail
wind,
directly into the wind?
can you sail 360 degrees
I
in a
don't think
decent
so. I
strong?
think you can sail like 270 degrees.
Okay, so you can do like
So I think you
most.
can do most directions, but I think if the wind is just straight up in your face, you just take your sails down and weigh anchor and wait until this wind
Okay.
is
Or
going in the
just
direction.
zigzag, right?
Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's what you do is zigzag.
I bet that's what you do. Dude, it's kind of wild that like this thing going one direction, you can travel with it a bunch of directions.
Yeah. Well, like I always think about it like, like tic-tacking on a skateboard.
Yeah, I do. Totally. For the listener, this
You
is
can
when
tic-tac
you're
uphill.
standing like on the skateboard with like a foot on each tail and you're going like tick 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 like
Oh
lifting
no,
one up
sorry,
and forward.
not that. That's not actually what I'm talking about.
Oh.
I'm talking about like where like you kind of like you weave your front foot back and forth and like you
Oh, oh,
generate speed
oh.
that way.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, pumping, I
What
don't
do
know,
you
whatever.
Well,
Something.
no, but it's not, but like you pick up the front, you like
Yep.
go tick 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 with the
Yeah, I
front.
totally. Maybe that is called tic tacking. I thought it was just
No,
one
but I
where you go
could see
like
that
tick tick
being
tick tick
also
tick tick.
tic-tacking. Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, I totally know what you mean. Of course, yeah.
So like yeah, so you're just kind of like pumping and
It's like
like
Rodney
shifting the
Mullen in
front.
like an old school like
Yeah.
skate championship or
And
something.
it's just like a way to like build up speed or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Um I feel like it's something like that you're doing
Mm.
because you can
Yeah,
do
like
that
you're like kind of
uphill.
like gaining speed in one direction to like
Yeah.
kind of swift move up
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
like gain in another to swift move up, just like
Yeah, and it's
pumping.
all about just like you gain speed in one direction and then you just avoid losing speed while you're crossing.
Yeah.
And then you gain speed in the other direction, then avoid losing speed while you're
Right.
crossing. Yeah.
It's got to be a hoot, right? Like sailing has got to be so engaging and fun
Yeah.
as
Well,
opposed to every other form of
Paul was
seamanship, shipmanship.
Paul was an interesting cat. But Paul was a sailing instructor at the yacht club in New
Okay.
Orleans and
Yeah.
taught like rich people how to sail,
Yeah.
right? Or like their kids or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would run like sailing camps and there would be whatever. But there's all these like rich guys who own boats and they have like these races, right?
Yeah.
At the yacht club just for like fun.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys who spent all this money on this boat want to prove that it's faster than the other rich guy's boat,
Yeah.
And so Paul mostly the benefit he got from teaching at the yacht club was that rich guys would pay him to race their boat in
Mm.
the yacht club races.
Mm-hmm.
And so there would be like bidding wars for him between these rich guys because he was a fast sailor and he had
Yeah.
like won a bunch of sailing races before.
Cool.
Um
He's like a sailboat jockey.
yeah, exactly. He was like and he was about that size.
Okay,
Um
great.
but yeah, he was a good guy. But anyway, I would often come home. He sold weed too. So I would come home from work or whatever. He would be in his. He played StarCraft a lot. And he would be in his bedroom with his desk. He'd be sitting there playing StarCraft on one monitor, smoking a blunt, and then on the other monitor would be like the weather map
Mm.
with all the pressure systems and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd come in, I'd be like, "What's up, man?" He'd be like, "No wind." Like, damn. He's like, "Yeah, I know, man. I thought there was gonna be wind today, but there's not wind." And I was like, "That sucks, dude." He's like, "Think it tomorrow. There's gonna be wind."
This is why you need to diversify hobbies so
Yeah.
that you can like, because I'm like fishing. It's been super windy here, and so I went out once, but
Hmm.
it's not that great to fish in super strong winds where I'm
Hmm.
fishing.
But it is
Um,
great to sail in super
but
strong
it is
winds.
great to sail in super strong winds. So like you get into sailing, you get into fishing. So you got to have
Yeah.
a hobby for when it's windy, when it's not windy.
Hmm.
Got to have one for when it's snowing, ice fishing, skiing, good to go. You got to have one for what's the hobby for when it's raining?
For reading books.
No, what's the like thrilling? outdoor rain induced hobby, like thing?
Well, I think like storms, people surf in like intense
Okay.
storms. Those
Yep.
make great waves.
Yep.
But as far as like just like boring normal rain where there's no real storm involved, like I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either. So here's an
Like
interesting,
running around outside naked or something.
right. So not
Streaking.
naked,
Yeah, I
but
streak. I sail in the wind.
a
I
streak in the
surf in a
rain.
storm. I streak in the rain. Yeah.
Yep. Um, yeah, I feel like I definitely did that once, and I recall, oh, I don't know. This is not safe for the podcast, but I was streaking one time in a like it was nighttime and it was a thunderstorm,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like running down a hill
Did you
and I
fall?
slipped. It
Yeah,
was
you
just this,
always fall.
the
Every time
funniest,
you're streaking, you fall. That's the rules of streaking.
the funniest like scene, probably the most humiliating scene of my life is if somebody was standing there watching me, it would have been dark so they wouldn't have seen anything. But then when the lightning strikes, and it was lightning out, so like there would just be a flash of pure brightness and you would just see me and my naked body like on the
Covered
ground,
in covered in
like
mud
covered
and
in mud,
blood.
like just like so yeah.
Yeah.
um so you got your rain hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Daniel. So I got one for you. Here's a
Mm-hmm.
little tiny fun one. Again, I don't know anything about sailing, like zero. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm mostly interested in like building a canoe and a stand-up paddleboard or something.
Sure.
So I'm not even like digging into sailing, but I'm rubbing up against it, you know? I'm like
Mm-hmm.
seeing it.
Yeah.
So this sailboat, I'm watching this guy who's building a boat that doubles as a sailboat. And he's like in the boat. It's like a normal like rowboat type skiff type boat thing. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
And he's got this thing that, what's the best way to describe it? Like a really long cutting board.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're holding, where it has like a handle at the top and it's like wooden, but it's basically a blade. It's as if he's like holding the rudder for a ship.
Sure.
And there's a slot in the boat, in the
Sure.
seat, the perfect width for it. And he puts it down farther than the boat is tall. And
Uh-huh.
this is like part of sailboating, is to like, you know, have this like rudder thing that you can adjust and pull out completely. It's like
Okay.
an adjustable mechanism. And I'm like, what? Like, how does that work? I'm thinking like this guy, like, what does he have? Some like perfectly sealed flap or something? It just seems like a magic trick to me. Are you tracking this?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So
Yeah.
this may be completely obvious to everybody how it works, but like I still don't know how it works, but I at least am like, okay, there's not a slit in the bottom of the boat
There has to be.
with like a
How else does it work?
flap. Right. Okay. So are
So
you?
here's my theory.
Yeah.
He's got an airlock of some sort.
Okay.
So there's two layers.
Okay.
So there's like a sealed bottom layer
Right. Yep.
and a sealed top layer.
Yeah. That's what I thought too. That was
That's
my
what
next
that
thought
is.
too.
That how it works?
No. And I don't know any of this. This is just after. So I thought the first
You've
time and
said that a
thought,
lot.
right. So no, I mean, like I haven't even seen the mechanism. This is just me first thinking, okay, there's some like, you know, rubber flap thing that like doesn't let in water when you push a wooden thing through it, you know, or maybe just
Sure.
a tiny bit or something.
Yeah, like a gasket or something.
Yeah, right. But I quickly discounted that. Like that's really not, I don't think that's it.
Wood is not great gasketing material.
It's not. It's really not. And so then I thought, okay, there's like a vestibule, you know, like you're describing for this little airlock thing or some double layered mechanism. And then I realized, what about this, Deke? The boat is built around it. So you could, like, let's just say that you have a boat. You could like literally build it so that there's a hole in the middle, but walls around that hole up to the top of the boat. And you could look into the hole and see ocean. You could fish in the middle of your boat and it would
Mm-hmm.
still float.
Is this what you're building?
A boat with fishing access.
Just like a donut canoe.
Exactly. It's a
Yeah,
donut. So that's how I'm guessing this thing works. It would work, right? The
sure.
slit is built into the boat.
Yeah, but the height, that would mean the middle would have to be the height of the outsides of the boat.
Oh, it doesn't have to be. It
Well,
just has to be higher than the water level, right? Yep.
Maybe. Sure. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Because it wasn't the height of the boat, but it was the height of the seat, which I'm guessing is a little bit higher than the water
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Yep. Isn't that cool?
It is cool.
That's
Buoyancy,
cool.
man.
Buoyancy, bro. Buoyancy. Okay, Deagle. So there's that, you know.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Oh, go ahead.
So
Go ahead. Ping pong.
if you're gonna build a boat, right?
Yeah.
Which let's just assume you are, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna want to build some kind of a trailer for that boat.
For sure. You're gonna want to sleep in the trailer as well.
What I'm saying is, there any way that we could like build towards two intentions with one project here? Like, could the teardrop trailer be buoyant
Oh,
and have a hole in
interesting.
the middle?
That's not a bad idea. Look, I already have everything for it.
You've got basically an enclosed wooden structure, right?
I basically have a boat with a
You have
roof.
a boat with a
Well, I
roof.
didn't build a roof yet.
So great, perfect.
Right, and boats don't have roofs.
Most, I mean, some do. Um,
It's but for real though, like there's all these drool-worthy pictures. Not all these. There's a few drool-worthy pictures of handmade teardrop, like wood campers
I've
with
seen them. Yeah.
handmade kayaks on top.
Oh,
And
that's pretty
that's
good.
like, you know what, Deke?
I
Check
feel
this
like you
out.
just need to make like the Optimus Prime of trailers, though.
Oh, I'm
That
sharing
is
my
like,
screen. Is that okay for YouTube?
yeah, it's fine for YouTube as long as you don't have any secrets.
So
Chesapeake
um
Lightcraft.
Chesapeake Lightcraft teardrop. So dig this business.
Whoa,
Look at this, my dude.
my
Whoops.
dude, I'm looking right now.
How do we? Okay. So see this business here?
Oh yeah, that is some business.
Am I right though? Look at
Yeah.
this. So these are the dudes. Look at that. That's a handmade stand-up paddleboard.
Uh-huh.
So these things, Daniel Colborn, check this
Mm-hmm.
out. You could go to ChesapeakeLightcraft.com. No,
How much? How much?
CLCboats.com.
How
I
much?
know. I don't actually know about the teardrop. I don't remember. I almost. Okay, let's see. No, that's a just whatever.
It's a
These
good
boats, dude.
website.
I know these boats. So let's say boat kits and plans, and let's build a
Kayak
sailboat.
kits.
The Jimmy Skiff 2 was the one that I was looking at.
Okay, the Jimmy
So
Skiff.
this is the Jimmy Skiff 2. It's just a little skiff boat, sailboat.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You could build this thing for $1,600. They ship you everything. They ship you all the wood.
You could probably buy it for $400. Is
No
what I'm saying.
way. Not a wooden boat. Not a nice wooden boat.
But you could buy a boat that is as
You could buy a skiff
fun.
boat for maybe $500.
Yeah. As fun to sail as that boat.
Dude, do not. Do not. Okay, well, here's where it comes in. So, what you know, and I'll stop the share because I don't want to totally ruin the podcasting.
The audio podcast, even though people should be checking out the YouTube sometimes.
Yeah, you got to check out the YouTube.
But don't stop listening to the audio. Do both.
Do both.
What I'd say is like we come out on Friday, Friday you listen to the audio on your drive home. Saturday, set aside some dedicated hours to rewatch the YouTube.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Come back, catch all the visual gags.
Daniel, let me just blow past this so we can be done with my boat thing. Boat construction with their technique, this Chesapeake boat technique, whatever, is like super simple. They don't do like complicated cedar stripping and framing and everything. You literally, it's called stitch and glue construction, and it's like just a kind of common practice. You basically stitch together pieces of plywood, like thin plywood, with you drill holes and you use zip ties to no. Well, so I guess they do kind of bend, but you're literally like if you have these lengths of plywood along the length of a canoe or something, they're kind of thin, like 5 inches wide, and you stitch them together to each other with zip ties. Like you literally stitch the wood and then you glue them, remove the zip ties, epoxy it all, and then basically lay a sheet of fiberglass over it, epoxy the fiberglass on, and that's your exoskeleton. So you don't need any internal structure at all.
Sure.
Because the fiberglass is the exoskeleton.
It's an exoskeleton. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's a super popular boat construction like way, and it's super simple compared to, things that require like steam bending and all that stuff,
Sure.
So anyway, so I'm jazzed about it because I feel like this is a project that I could not abandon at 35%.
So what's the status on your teardrop?
It's a
I
thing.
forget.
I mean, I got the walls. I got
Mm-hmm.
I got the floor, the insulation. It's waterproof. The bottom, the trailer, the
Mm-hmm.
walls. I say walls, but like these things took me like 40 hours. Like it's kind of ridiculous, but whatever. I have the walls and I have the shelving for both sides, and that's as far as I got. That's where we got.
What's left?
You need the roof, and you need like a hole in the
Right.
roof for a fan. You need to mount the thing. You need to run electrical and have insulation in the roof and have it plywooded on both sides, top and the bottom of the roof. And then you have to have like the hatch, which is a huge one, the back hatch
Mm-hmm.
that you can like lift up and have your whole. It's called the what is it called? It's called something where you lift it up and you have like the kitchen counter with the sink and whatever. So all that stuff has yet to be done. Um, but you know what? You've never seen. I don't think you've seen. So the one that I'm building is called the. Oh, I'm not going to remember it. Teardrop wooden it's like the Montana Molly or the Buffalo Billy or something like that. I'm not gonna get it, but anyway, no, these are just earrings. Well, whatever. It's a nice
You
looking
should
teardrop.
put camper in there.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of non teardrop camper. Oh, it's the Wyoming Woody. Ha!
Wyoming Woody.
I think I missed. This is it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the business, and I have
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
sides done and everything except the top and the roof and the hatch.
Gotcha.
So go on YouTube, podcasters, to watch this, this thing here.
It's pretty sick.
So that's how we're dealing. But I may never get it done. I've come to terms with that.
Yeah. But your
Um,
dad is still like, keep it in my garage. I want it here
he's
because
being cool
then
about
you
it.
you may one day want to finish this. Well, because
Yeah.
you tried to get it out of there,
Yep. I
if I
was gonna.
recall. You tried to
Yeah.
be like,
I'll
I'm
take.
removing this,
Yes, to remove the burden from your
and he
garage.
and he was like, Caleb,
Yeah.
I would never rob you of this half-finished project.
Yes.
Please keep this in my
He
home.
wanted to like be a part of my
Yeah,
success in the project and see it
being a
through.
big guy.
Yeah, he's a great big guy. Yeah, so he's still being
Cool.
chill about it. Yeah.
Word. You
Even
think
though
there's a
like
time limit on that?
for sure. Yeah, but every time he mentions it, I'm like I throw something out there of like collateral. Like
Mm-hmm.
last time he mentioned it, he was just like, "So, like the teardrop, what do you think about that?" And I'm like, "Big guy, what do you think?" I'm like, "How about I build you a deck off the garage, and you could put like a hot tub on it because he wants a hot tub." So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, he was like totally jazzed. He's like, "No, wait, would you?" I'm like, "Yeah, you fund the wood, I'll build it. Let's do
Mm-hmm.
it." So it's about 35% done
Have you
off the
built the deck
garage.
yet?
No, so this project
So
got
what,
halted.
this is I can't like this is like paying off your credit cards with more credit cards.
I
Right?
know.
This is like,
Yes.
I'll see you one unfinished project and raise you another unfinished project.
Yep.
But like eventually like Bernie Madoff comes collecting,
Right. But we're
and
not there
you're
yet. This is a
yeah.
pump and dump. If I get out before the next guy,
Yeah.
I'm all right.
That's true. There's got to be someone out there who really enjoys finishing projects but doesn't like have good ideas for projects.
Dude,
Who you could just sell off all these half-finished projects to, and they'd be really grateful.
that if there is a human out there who sucks at starting things but is really good at finishing things, like I'm a terrible starter, but I'm always just like I'm really good at seeing
I'm a
something
great
through.
finisher.
I'm a great finisher. Okay, it doesn't exist, but if it did,
I start weak, I finish strong.
yeah. Yeah.
Dude, yeah. Those are the people. That's a business partner.
That is a business partner.
That is a business
That's
partner.
the business partner. And there's people like Hannah. She is that person. I mean, she's probably a good starter too, but like she finishes everything she starts. Like she's very see it through,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, there's people like that who just like, if they have to do something, I have to do that thing until it's completed.
Yeah. But I think the thing is
What a
that like,
sucky life though.
yeah, I feel like those people are somehow able to do this thing that I'm not able to do, which is like pretend that they do have to do it. because you actually don't a lot of
right.
things. You just don't have to do.
Yeah, right. It's
right.
true.
Like you
It's
don't
true.
have to finish a camper if just because you started one.
Yep.
Right. Like no one's making you.
This is actually this really
And
is the disadvantage of this way of living, is that she will like because I am
this way of
always
living meaning
so
like self-employment and shit.
no, I just mean like being that way,
Oh yeah.
being the finisher,
Yeah.
it's like it's really inefficient in a lot of ways because like there's not a lot of stopping to evaluate if you should keep doing this thing,
Right.
because like, I'm always ready to hop off the train.
Yeah.
So like when it becomes inefficient, I'm
Let's
the
throw
first
this on the
person
stack of abandoned projects.
yeah, it's the times when you need to see it through where I'm inefficient, but it's the times where she shouldn't be seeing it through, where
Yeah.
somebody like that is like
Yeah.
there's probably you could, if you really didn't want to do this and
Mhm.
allowed yourself to like go there, you could find a way to make your life more efficient.
Oh, I think there is like for me, like character building is being forced to finish things. For other
Yeah,
people, I think character building is being forced to abandon things.
I agree. Yep.
Um, but yeah,
Yep.
it's interesting.
Yeah. Daniel, I have a startup idea.
Oh, great, let's start it and not finish it.
Perfect.
Uh-huh.
I hope you have a finish down.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to give me your opinion on this.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this?
Stop down.
Stop down. Yep.
Yeah. Startup, stop down.
The startup and the stop down is
Mm-hmm.
a co-maker space, which is
Mm-hmm.
basically I buy like a storage container facility, like an old one, the smallest one I can
Mm-hmm.
find. And I convert it into workshop bays, which literally means just like maybe a basic bench and outlets and lights, maybe even ventilation.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just rent the space, and it's like, here, have your workshop, build your canoe, even though you have an apartment,
Right.
and then
So
rent it out.
maker spaces exist. What's the difference?
So maker spaces are like common spaces, to my knowledge.
Right.
Like this is not common. You own your little cubby, your little garage bay. You
Uh-huh.
own it. You can hang your neon signs.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. It's all your own
So
tools.
you're saying you're buying an actual like storage facility.
Yeah.
You're starting with that.
Yeah, or just garage bays that are storage facility.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. And then, I mean, the cool thing would be if you also build a tool library into it.
That would be cool. Yep.
So it's like,
yeah.
like you, and so what? Here's an idea. So everyone gets. So you make locks for all of the tools, right?
Yep.
So all of the tools you use like those Kensington locks or something that like locks the tool in place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And each lock can be opened by any key,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the key stays in the lock, right?
Oh yeah, cool. Like what is like that? Cars.
No, you take the key back. Oh yeah, while it's driving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that, right? And then you issue every tenant or whatever,
Yep.
like 3 keys.
What I'm really picturing is the Aldi carts was what I was going for.
Yeah. Kind of like that.
Go on.
You issue each tenant 3 keys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And each key has their like unit number printed on it.
Okay.
Right? So then anyone can just go take a chop saw, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when the next guy comes looking for the chop saw, first of all, there's an outline on the table that says chop saw where it used to be sitting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a key stuck there that says like 311, right? And they're like, okay, so 311 has the chop saw.
That's really smart, yeah.
So then they can run down to 311 and be like, yo, I'm thinking about using that. You're using that for like the next 6 hours, you're using that for the next 20 minutes, And then they can just kind of negotiate it out, right?
Yeah.
And then I think it'd be cool if like you had like a monthly budget of like what you were willing to spend on tools.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just have like an internal voting system where like people vote on like wanting another tool or
Yep.
something.
Yep.
That
I
would be
dig
it.
it.
So it'd be like a makerspace in the sense that like there's community owned property,
Yep.
right? But like everyone has individual workspaces where they can take those things from the tool library.
Yeah. I dig that as like a V2, I think. Like what like cuz I'm thinking that like makerspaces exist, like workshops, like co-workshops exist, like wood shops that you can rent,
Yep.
like pottery studios, stuff like that. But the thing that I really want personally is like I have a bunch of tools and I just want a space. Like Mitch,
A
he
garage.
has
Everyone needs a garage.
exactly. I
And
don't have a garage.
I don't have one either. Yeah.
Oh, you don't?
Uh-uh.
Oh, I thought you weren't my target market, but maybe you are, Deke.
I am your target market. I need a garage.
So Mitch currently, he rents a storage space because he lives in an
Uh-huh.
apartment and he's nomadic. So he has a storage space that he uses as a workshop, but
Uh-huh.
it's not in the bounds to do this. But
Mm-hmm.
he like found an outlet
Doesn't
and
care.
ran an
Yeah.
extension cord and basically has this whole thing going that's like way against the rules. But Mitch is
Mm-hmm.
like one of the types of people who does not really care. And if
What the rules are. Yeah.
exactly, and if he got caught, like the person would be like chill about it probably. But like
Yeah. Or even
that's
if they weren't, like, what's the worst they're going to do? Like make you
yeah.
get a new storage space
Yep.
somewhere else.
So this whole storage space, he's like pushing what you can do with a storage space to the limits. He used to like sleep in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He's
People
just
do
like,
that.
oh, a space that I have, like this is great. This is way
Yeah.
cheaper than like rent or something. I love it.
Yeah.
So he's got this really cool space, but he still has to kind of dodge around, you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
It's got to sneak.
It's dodgy, and the power's not great. Like if you want to run a welder or something and you need like 240 volts, like
Yeah. Good luck.
yeah, and a lot of tools and stuff need that kind of thing. So and ventilation, like if you're woodworking, like you need ventilation unless
Yeah.
whatever you're. So I need this. Mitch needs this. My
Mm-hmm.
brother needs this. He's currently building a camper van in Denver. He lives in an apartment. He's building it in the parking lot. Like
That's
he's
cool.
just building it
Landlords love that.
inside. I know. And he hates it. He hates the thing that he has to do this, but he's doing it. He has all his tools in the camper van, and he'll like if he needs something, like he drives there, and like if he needs to be super loud, he'll drive to like a parking lot and just
Mm-hmm.
work on it. So you need a workspace as well.
I do.
Would you, if this existed like 10 minutes from your house, would you be down? Would you be
How
like, oh yeah,
much?
that's my next question. Okay, it's $200 a month.
6 month lease or 1 year lease?
6 months because of the way you asked.
6 months, yes.
Okay. So you would do 6 months at $200 a month. So
Yeah.
you would be out
$1,200.
$1,000,
$1,200.
$1,200.
I would hand you $1,200 right now to have access to this thing for the next 6 months.
Yeah, right.
But I wouldn't. I actually wouldn't. I would hand you $1,200 in 2 months because I only want it during the good months.
Yeah, right.
I don't want it during the winter.
What if it's heated?
If it's heated,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. Because that's the next hurdle for being a Buffalonian is like, okay, well, is this thing only useful for 5-6 months?
But like you need to have like big bay doors or something on it.
Well, I'm thinking honestly, I'm
You
thinking
can get
like I
plywood
would just
in.
buy a storage container thing that like everyone has a garage door.
Like an indoor storage facility.
No, I mean, okay, so what I'm picturing is basically what Mitch has, which is a garage.
It's an outdoor storage facility, basically.
I think that's
So
what
there
we're
are two
talking about.
there are two types of storage facility places, right? One is a large building with
Okay.
multiple floors,
Okay.
and they're long hallways full of storage units.
I'm not familiar.
Right?
Yep.
And then the other one is like flat, one story. You drive to your
Like the
storage
motel
unit.
version of a storage facility.
So it would have to be one of those.
Yeah, I'm thinking
because
that
you have to be able to pull your truck up and unload plywood or whatever.
Yes.
Right?
It's a garage. Basically, you're renting
it's a garage. Right.
Yeah.
So the only issue with like heating those is like, well, sometimes you're gonna need the fucking door open to like unload plywood and stuff.
It's not the comfy, cozy, like 70-degree thermostat. It's like a torch heater or like whatever, just one of those heaters that are in a garage. They like hang from the corner. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it during the winter probably.
You wouldn't?
No, but
Okay.
like I'm just a different person in the winter than I
Yeah.
am in the
Yeah,
spring
no,
and
I get it.
fall. You
I
know?
feel it. Yep.
But like, yeah, if I could have that like March through November,
Yeah.
I'd have that.
I feel like it's actually a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, I got $200, dog. Hook it up.
All right. Maybe I'll open a branch in North Carolina. I just
Well,
feel
the
like somebody
cool thing
needs to do
here is we have a tool library, and it's near some storage containers.
it. Hey yo.
Like, we could lock this thing down. You
Get it
know,
done.
I feel like that's the move, though. Is like, I think the tool library, the thing that hackerspaces have that I think is good
Yeah.
is that there is an encouragement in hackerspaces to strengthen the space and community and invest in it, right?
Yeah.
So that um and then people don't leave. People don't want to stop paying dues because they invested in this place.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Your thing, it's like you as the business owner, if it's a for-profit thing,
Yeah.
need to just like keep convincing me that this is worth my money. And if I don't have an active project right now, like this might not be worth my money right now.
Right. Yeah, that's sort of the thing. But I guess the type of my ideal customer is somebody who lives in the city or in an apartment, but has enough money to like have their own nice
Not
tools
care. Yeah.
and have their own, whatever, and pay like a premium for something like this because space is their number one like hurdle, not money.
Constraint. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and in yeah, like I think that's my ideal customer. Like it's not like I'm interested in building a community, but like an organic one. Like I'm honestly like I want a place that I don't have the expectation of engaging with other people. I just want a
Mm.
place that I can like go in my hole and build stuff and not
Mm-hmm.
have to like, not have to
Ask
like
about your project that you're working on
yeah,
over there.
exactly. Like I
Like,
don't
I don't
want
give a shit
any
about your shelves. I just want to make my
yes.
canoe.
It'll naturally happen because I'll be walking around and I'll be like, dude, tell me about your shelves. But
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I want the option to just be like, I just own this space and it's like kind of well suited for building stuff
Mm-hmm.
because you can't do that in storage containers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yep.
I don't know. You'll buy.
Yeah.
I'll get you
I'm
for
in.
6 months.
Yeah. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. The other thing is like, this is like, I mean, this is kind of like the motherboard problem. Uh, like I could build a garage, not myself, but I could have a garage built.
You have the land for
Right?
it?
Yeah. I mean, I have a driveway that runs right up to my house.
Okay.
Right? Like I could just stick a garage
In front.
onto the side of my house,
Oh. Okay. Yep.
and then just like have the driveway pull right into it, you know?
Cool. Yep.
But like say la vie, no garage, like
Yep.
so anyway, these are the things I think about.
Costs a lot of money to build a garage.
That's the thing. It's like it
Dude, I could
costs,
save
I'm
up so
sure it
much money
costs
with my
an amount of money. That's the thing, right? Is like, is this a $10,000 project or is this a $40,000 project? Because those are very different numbers,
yeah, I would think it's more towards the 40.
because 10 G's a garage is worth it,
Yeah. No, it's anytime I've like specced out any like structure, it's always extremely depressing, especially something like a garage that would need a foundation and would have to be zoned and everything. Like,
You gotta be zoned.
sorry, dude. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
like,
Well, and also the problem with being in this place that I live in is you have to grade everything because
oh, because you live
everything's
in the mountains.
I live in the mountains and nothing's flat.
All right. How much does it cost to build a garage? I'm looking for, okay, so you could buy a garage. Wow, 12x7 garage you could buy at Lowe's for $5,000. Kind of need
That's
to,
an external garage, right?
yeah.
That's like a shed.
Huh, maybe they're not so much. It's the average
So
cost is 35 to
this is
65. Huh, okay, so it's between
yeah,
eight
it's a
grand and
shed, but
15
it's a
grand.
shed. It's a shed.
Yeah.
Um, so this is the thing. It's like my second option is just buy a shed, um, and put it in the backyard. Get like a 12x12 shed, run electric to it, put it on concrete posts.
Sure.
right?
Yep. Yeah.
And then just now I've got a workshop
This just
that
in,
is
I
a
want to
shed.
publicly make the correction that building a garage is not towards the $40,000.
It's like 10K.
It's more like 10K for a single car.
See, I could kind of go for 10K.
Yeah, probably like
Like,
15K.
yeah.
One car garage. Yeah, but all these don't factor into concrete. But
Yeah.
I don't
Not,
know.
you know, the only things that factor into concrete, as far as I can tell, are aggregate and cement and water.
You're right. I mean, oh man.
Um, yeah, this is all good. This is very good. I think ultimately this is very much like the motherboard problem in that this is a problem I've been talking about solving ever since I moved here.
Yeah.
And I have
You're like a
never
real boy, Daniel.
I've never been at a place where the direction forward was clear enough for me to pull the trigger. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like I could build a garage, I could buy a shed,
Yeah,
I could,
you
but
you
it's
have a
like,
kingdom. You can actually like affect change in your domain.
yeah, I own land.
Yeah, you own land,
I
Daniel.
own land. I'm landed gentry. Um,
That's crazy.
the issue is like it's a minimum $5,000 walk in the park to like go down this road,
To
you
do
know? So and it's like, well, I'm not just gonna like throw $5,000 away on a whim. Like I gotta like make sure this is the right way to do it, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I
A
don't know.
garage is a good. I mean, dude, you should have a garage. How are you going to
Yeah,
build
but
your?
no, but it's
No.
like if I was gonna get a garage, I want a garage that's attached to the house.
Okay, you're
You
one
know
of
what
those.
I'm saying? And
No,
now
I
we're
get
leaning
you,
towards it's like I don't want a shed in my front yard
dude. Just
that I
butt
pull
the
my
shed
car
up to
into.
the house. Cut a hole in the house.
That's you
Done
can't. It's not
deal.
easy to just cut a hole in the house. Cut a
Get a
hole in the house is
sawzall.
a project.
Make it happen.
You can't just cut holes in houses.
Yes, you can.
um, and it's like I would want the siding to match. You know,
You ever go in somebody's like side garage and you can see the siding on their house?
I can't picture it, but I believe I must have.
That's a thing, man. People have
Yeah,
like janky setups.
yeah, but I like. I'm not doing anything to this house that's not going to make me more money than it costs me. That's my deal with this
Really?
house. Yeah.
You planning on moving ever?
Eventually I will move. Yeah.
To what?
And
What's
so
the plan?
to a bigger and better house that comes with a garage.
Gotcha.
Um,
So is
but
this like
like,
your starter home, quote
yeah,
unquote?
for sure.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, I'm not
Definitely
going
should
to
have done the HDMI thing now that I know that.
come on, get out of here.
I just joke.
The but it's like nothing I've done to this house is like everything I've done to this house increased the value of the house, you know? So it's like ripping out carpet, putting in nice floors, increase the value. Pulling down all the wood paneling and redoing the drywall, increase the value, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I don't want to do like redoing all the plumbing, probably increase the value. I don't know, but maybe not. But that one had to happen. Um, so it's like I don't want to slap a $10,000 garage on the side of the house that increases the value by $2,000. You know, which
That's
is
my
what I
for
feel
sure.
like would happen. Whereas
And
if I feel like if I spent 20 G's on a good garage, it would increase the value by 20 G's.
if yeah, no, I agree with you. Um, yeah, I wonder if like if a garage costs okay, let's say a house without a garage
Mm-hmm.
is $100,000.
Sure.
Then that house builds a garage and sells itself. If
Mm-hmm.
it builds a garage for $20,000,
Mm-hmm.
does it sell for $120,000?
Yes,
It does.
that's my theory.
Okay. Because
Let's
like
say I
my
don't know. Let's
instinct
say
is
I
to
don't know, but I
say
would assume
my instinct is
because
that like it sells for 115 or something, you know?
like you lose a
Like
little.
because like a garage is sort of a given with houses, you know?
It's not here though,
That's interesting.
because it's mountains. Like it's weird.
So
If you
garages
live on
aren't
if
very
you live on
common?
a well, if you live on a street where the road is a lot higher than the backyards,
Yeah.
it's pretty common to have garage around back.
Oh, interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Where like the
Yeah.
driveway goes down the side and around back. But this neighborhood I live in, there's there's garages up the hill. There's like a richer neighborhood where there's like
Yeah.
newer houses built in
Oh,
the late
they're on the
90s.
hill.
Those houses on the hill all have garages. My house, none of my neighbors' houses have garages.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Actually, you know what? My immediate neighbor does have a garage, but it's one of those down the hill situations
That's
because
pretty
his
interesting.
house goes down a hill.
I mean, like it seems every house in Buffalo has a garage,
It's because it's
to my
cold as
knowledge.
shit in Buffalo. You can't just like park outside all the time.
Yeah, the interesting thing is any house I've ever lived in, the garage has never been used for a car.
Oh, really?
Never.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. These are the things. These are the things you think about, Caleb.
Yeah, they are, Deke.
This is a good programming podcast we have.
Yeah, I mean, we're at an hour and 5. I feel
Yeah,
like
the
we
people
talked
come
about
here for.
programming well enough.
Yeah, I feel like we've covered it.
Yep.
We've covered it.
We are
All right. One thing I'm just gonna
programming.
say. I've been using PHPStorm for a week and a half.
Daniel, wait. What you say next will determine how ridiculous that statement is.
I don't enjoy it, but I also didn't enjoy my VS Code situation.
Word.
I don't
But yeah, you were
enjoy.
having issues and you wanted to like tear it all down.
Right. And so I was like, well, if I'm gonna just tear everything down, I may as well like give PHPStorm a fair shake while I'm here.
Yeah.
Give it its fair shake. It's
Does
fucking,
it? I mean,
it's PHPStorm. Like
yeah.
all the trade-offs are exactly what you think they are.
Yeah. Like you're probably
You know?
like living in it. Like, oh my gosh, I can just click that and it knows. And
No,
it
it's
tells
not
me
even,
that.
nothing impresses me. Like the only thing that impresses me really, not the only thing that makes me really happy about it is the automatic test runner or rerunner thing.
Oh, cool.
So it'll just rerun the tests every time you save any file. Cool. So like you run and then it'll do only rerun failed tests automatically. It does. The test runner is amazing.
Cool.
And it's actually unconscionable that no one has built like a standalone version of that test runner.
I don't. That's funny. Poke. I mean, Cypress has that and Jest has that, and I never use those features. I never.
I would like to officially let the following two people know that it's unconscionable. Miguel and Marcel. I would like both of you to know that it's unconscionable that no one has yet built a standalone version of the PHPStorm test runner.
Oh, I got you. You're talking like an Electron app.
Yeah. I just want to put that out into the universe so that everyone knows, those two people specifically. Frake, you should know this too. All those people who might do that.
All you Electron app people.
All you Electron app people, like I would like you to know it's unconscionable.
I dig this Electron. I'm not going to call it a fad, but like this like new thing that people are doing.
Yeah, of just building Electron apps to make programming better.
Have you used Ray?
I haven't used it yet, but
it's really good.
I'm excited about it. Yeah.
I mean, it really is awesome. Like it's the kind
of
tool that looks good, and then you buy it, and then you start using it, and then you go back to DD because you don't feel like starting it up again, and then at some point you inevitably go, no, I need Ray.
Yeah, Ray's better.
I still use DD occasionally, but Ray is really, really nice.
That's cool.
It's cool.
There should be a feature of Ray. There should be a feature of Ray that it like overwrites all your DDs when it's running.
Like it hijacks your DDs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It probably could do that.
Anyway,
here are the cons of Ray. I'm giving these after really like the endorsement is get Ray. You should.
Yeah.
Like it really is good and it's worth it. Okay, pros and cons really quick. One cool pro is Ray shows you the debug output of whatever. You call Ray like you would DD and then you see it in the Electron app. The nice thing is you can click on the file reference of the debug output in Ray and it'll open it up in VS Code, which is really, really nice for not leaving Rays around. Like, you leave DDs around and you have to go digging for your DDs. You like,
have to go find them.
What Illuminate file did I throw two DDs in?
Right.
So it's actually a nice feature that I've used quite a bit. Like you can just see all the Rays and you can clean them up really quick, which is great. A little
delete button next to them.
Yeah, that would be nice. Maybe
so you can actually just go delete it from the file.
It could do it. It knows the file name and number and line number. One of the cons is what was I going to say? Oh, well, one thing is the ray function doesn't output what you pass into it like DD does or like dump does. And I think that's a little bit crazy.
Doesn't output what you pass into it. What does that mean?
Like the really cool thing about dump is you can wrap anything in dump in line
Mm-hmm.
and dump will return what was passed into it and also
Oh, it
dump.
doesn't return it, is what you mean.
Yeah. Like console.log doesn't return it. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
constantly in JavaScript. I can't just wrap console.log and inline expression.
Yeah.
I have to like make a temporary variable
So
first.
you should just tell them to fix that or
Yeah, I
make your
know.
own
Well,
helper
I'm just telling
function.
them right now.
Yeah.
So somebody should do that. Um, yeah.
Yeah, it's unconscionable. Um, cool. But yeah, PHPStorm, it's all the trade-offs exactly the same trade-offs you think it is. It's like, first of all, all of the skills and keyboard shortcuts and everything that you've developed over years of working in Sublime Text and then moving them over to VS Code with you when you switch to VS Code, and then all of your muscle memory and everything. Congratulations, welcome to the long uphill journey of recreating that in PHPStorm. Like,
Dude should make an ebook.
it's bad, it's hard. Then there's all these text editing things that it does badly. And then there's all these things where like text editing just behaves differently. Like command backspace, do you use that? So like
No.
I'm in insert mode, right?
Okay.
And I want to delete everything from my cursor to the beginning of the line.
Oh, cool. That's command backspace, huh?
Command backspace, right?
Yep.
And control backspace is I want to delete the whole word.
Okay.
Or sorry, option backspace. Option backspace is word. Command backspace is the whole line.
Okay.
That is true on the Mac in any place that you edit text.
Oh, really?
That's true in
Fun.
text editor. That's true in the URL bar.
Stay there, Delilah. And then if I
Option
command,
backspace. First do option.
I don't know where the option key is
Alt.
on this. Oh, got it. Yep. It worked. It worked.
Okay, now do command backspace.
Dude.
Okay, this is just basic Mac text editing.
Cool.
This is how text editing works, right? Is that option backspace is delete the word, command backspace is delete to the beginning of the line. Okay?
Dig.
PHPStorm, for some reason that nobody knows, decides, you know what we want command backspace to be? Instead of delete from the cursor to the beginning of the line, we're going to make it delete the entire line before and after the cursor. That's bad and stupid because that's not how that should work.
Right. VS Code works here.
Yeah. So anyway.
Backspace. Cool. Interesting.
Anyway, there is a way to overwrite that deep in the VS Code settings, but like, or in the PHPStorm settings, but like, who knows where that is,
Yeah.
So anyway, these are the
cool.
things. It's like, I decided I'm going to install no additional plugins except for the Laravel IDEA plugin, the IDE helper plugin, and some other plugin that like is like basic Laravel support stuff, right? Like blade templates or something like that, right? And I'm basically like most of what I've done is turning things off, like there's these inspections are what they're called, which is basically like it looks at your code and tells you if something is bad and that you can fix it, right?
Yep.
So sort of like CS fixer rules or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like half the ones that are enabled by default are very bad. Like it yells at you if you don't declare a return type. It does all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And this is separate from your CS fixer config. We have a CS fixer config, right?
Oh boy.
Right. You understand why all these people are like this. It's because their editor made them like this.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I disabled a lot of the inspections, whatever. I had to change, like by default, like if you don't change it, like when you add a class, it doesn't import it. It just sticks the entire FQCN in your code. Like stuff like that, so you have to change all these things to like make using it an okay experience.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get the line spacing's bad, all the fonts are bad, everything's terrible. So you have to make it like kind of usable. And then once you're there, most of the bad things are gone. I had to spend forever duplicating all of my command palette shortcuts from VS Code.
Yeah.
Like Command P, Command Shift P, Command R, Command Shift R.
Yeah.
Most of those work exactly how they should now. Kind of. except there's this Command E, which is recent files, which I want to do by just pressing Command P and then down.
Yeah.
But when you open the like search for file dialog, it does know, like if you press Command P on my setup and then press backspace, then you will get a list of files in chronological order.
Oh, it's not just there.
But it remembers the last thing you typed, and there's no way to make it not remember that. And so you don't start with just an empty input. You start with like the last thing you typed there.
Huh.
Which is so annoying.
Yeah.
If anyone knows how to stop that, please tell me. Anyway, it's basically like, now that I've invested 15 hours into making it okay, it's okay. You know, I'm slower in it. Sometimes randomly I'll be typing and it'll just like stop putting the letters on the screen for 2 seconds while it does something with my CPU.
Yep.
and then it'll like catch up, you know.
Yep.
It's slow, it's big, it's janky. The terminal, like I are like, the thing, the command KT for the terminal that I stole from you.
But yeah.
Oh, you have Command T now?
I've always had Command T. It's like an
Okay.
inconsistency in my work.
I think I made mine
because I
into
use
Command.
it so much.
I made mine into Command KT.
Okay.
But anyway, I have the exact same one set up as you do, where it's like, if it's not in focus, then it will put it in focus.
Yeah.
If it is in focus, it'll close it.
Right.
Right. If it's not open, it'll open it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's that like little 3-way circle.
Yeah.
Trying to duplicate that with the terminal in PHPStorm, I think, is impossible, to have one keyboard shortcut do all those things.
Okay.
Because PHPStorm has this idea of like active panel, like which panel is active. And then there's all these shortcuts for like close the active panel.
Yeah.
So like, instead of having like Command KB, like open and close your left panel,
it closes whatever's focused.
It just closes whatever is focused. So now I have to go Command KT. If it's not in focus and I want to close it, instead of just hitting the shortcut twice, I now have to hit the shortcut and then hit Shift Escape to close active panel.
Yeah.
Which sucks. So anyway, basically it kind of sucks, but it's fine.
Yep.
But unfortunately, that's kind of where I was at with my VS Code setup too. Is like, it kind of sucks, but it's fine. So I'm probably going to still do the thing that I was talking about of like going in and digging into VS Code from scratch and trying to make a decent, clean setup and feel like which of those sucks more and which one is more fine. I am not happy with the state of editing.
Daniel, I hear you, but I can't help but think that if your editor was set up like mine, you wouldn't have issues. And I can't help but think that you setting up your editor like mine is like copy and pasting 2 files away. You know?
Yeah, but I think here's the thing.
Did you do it? Did you try? Did you try pasting the files?
No, I didn't get there.
Daniel, didn't you promise me?
I promised you that when I did my VS Code deep dive that I would start there. But I instead didn't do that yet.
You're dumb.
Here's the thing, Caleb. I need to absolutely not copy from other people. I need this to originate from my own brain.
Yeah. Okay, I get you. Yeah, I think we've been here before. I think we've had this conversation.
And I will try it.
Deja vu.
Right? But like, I cannot have keyboard shortcuts I don't know about.
I know.
You know?
I know,
like,
Daniel.
I can't have you sticking keyboard shortcuts in my thing that I don't know about that do shit I don't know.
You open the 2 files, key bindings and settings from the course, right? You have them open. And then you look at something in it and you go copy and paste or not. And then you do that. And then you don't the other stuff. And then you will have built what you want.
Yeah, maybe.
And then never look at it again. I never, ever touch my key bindings or settings files since I put the book out. I've never touched them once. I haven't even opened it for myself. For reals.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a good flow.
I'm sure it is.
Don't have
any issues.
issues.
I'm not saying that I don't think you have one of the better
I know. It's just hard for me to hear that you're like,
I think you probably have,
do what I want. I'm like, dude.
It's not that I can't get it to do what I want. It's that I like enabled too many things and now I don't know where everything's from. And I need to strip away everything. And your solution to stripping away, to my expressing like I need to strip away everything, is like,
Mm-hmm.
what if instead of doing that, you just copied the thing where I did that, but I did it better than you did, right?
Exactly.
But I don't want that. I want to strip away everything and build up from nothing,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
All right. All right. All right.
Like that's what and so that's why that's kind of what I'm doing in PHPStorm right now, is just like disabling everything. Only at like I was like, I'm only going to use this as a text editor. I'm either going to use PHPStorm as a text editor and not use any of its fucking stupid IDE features, right?
Yeah.
Until I realize that I need one. And
Yeah.
then I will add it, right? But I'm not going to browse. Like, I don't know what features it has. I don't browse them because I'm not interested in learning about the new features of PHPStorm. I'm
Mm-hmm.
interested in getting a good code editing experience. And then, like, if things that would have been plugins in VS Code are just features in PHPStorm, that's nice, right? Because plugins in VS Code have baggage,
Yep.
and I don't want that baggage, right? So anyway, that's the thing. Is like, is there a way that like with 2 plugins or less, I can make a PHPStorm thing that's as good as my VS Code thing with 30 plugins, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, this is the road I'm going down. I don't think PHPStorm is good. I don't enjoy it, but I don't enjoy anything right now. So
Yeah. I smell you, Deke.
I kind of just want to go back to Sublime Text.
Do it. Do it, bro.
Text editors rule.
Jeff Way just tweeted out something like, I don't know, like Sublime. Did you see that, his Sublime tweet?
Mm.
I don't know. It wasn't like a noteworthy tweet or anything, but it was just somebody again talking about Sublime, and that like if they just one day just come back and say, hey, we have the same Sublime as before, but with like a handful of the features that drove you all away from it, like
A
it
built-in
would rule the
terminal.
world.
You put a built-in terminal in Sublime
Honestly, if
Text?
Sublime had a built-in terminal, it might rule the world. That it might be everything that you need. I don't need the debugging in VS Code. I
Mm.
don't need. I really really like the Git GUI.
Mm-hmm.
Love that, and I would love VS Code to have, or Sublime to have that. I love the. You ever see the timeline panel in VS Code in the Files Explorer? So you know the sidebar, the File Explorer in the sidebar. There's a timeline toggle. So any file you have open, you can hit the timeline and it'll show you. It's like a git blame. You can just like
Whoa.
go to any version of that file and just shows you the commit messages.
That's nice.
It is incredibly useful. It's like probably the most useful Git feature aside from committing that an
Mm-hmm.
editor could offer you.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, whatever. Yeah. So
Yeah,
if
I mean
Sublime like copied like 3 things, like basically the Git GUI and the terminal, then I think
and
we'd
then
be in
like some
business.
save actions would be valuable.
What do you mean?
So basically just like run the following command
Oh,
line
sure.
command on save of
Yep.
any file, right? Because then you could do like csfix
For
or
formatting
config stuff.
stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all.
Wasn't there another
That's all you
editor who
gotta
was
do.
attempting to take
Atom
over? No,
brackets
nope. Newer one.
newer.
New code editor.
That's gonna get you good results.
Yeah. There's a lot listed here. This is really funny. So like, um, yeah, no, it's like a project that has a landing page and might not even exist yet type deal. New code editor 2021. I don't know. Maybe it'll show up. Maybe not. Shoot. I wish I could remember, but real Notepad still comes up on a lot of these top editor lists. It's pretty
Crazy.
wild.
That's
People
insane.
using Notepad++.
That's wild.
Crazy. Bluefish. I don't even know what Bluefish is.
Bluefish is a Linux one.
Okay. Vim. Yeah. Yep. Not seeing it, Daniel, but there's one that like, you go to landing page and you're like, oh, the future has arrived.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, somebody who really cares about like minimalism
Me.
and user experience. Yeah, who really cares about me is like creating an editor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, if anybody knows about what I'm talking about, please tweet at me. please. Tag Daniel as well.
Tag me for sure. I gotta know.
Daniel,
I got to know.
Yeah, Daniel. Yeah, Deke. Doik.
Shall we?
Hit the button.
Yeah, let's hit the button, dude.
Yeah, which button do we hit first? Podcast.
Yeah. So let's cue the outro music now.
Now, dump. And then
All right, and
we're
then
just talking to YouTube right now. So
we're
if we
just
got to
talking to
get
you,
anything
YouTube.
out,
Yeah.
now is the time. Do you have anything to say to the YouTuber?
To the YouTuber, thank you for being here. I hope you're enjoying our YouTube channel.
While we're
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps people find the channel.
Cool.
And
We have our last episode got 47 views.
No way.
Yep. And we have 14 subscribers.
Dude.
Do we have any comments? No comments yet. Okay.
No comments.
Dude, we're building steam. All right. I'm going to stop this. Thanks, YouTube.
Peace.